rival country does not allow us to with that diplomacy and negotiations, then we should initiate a war.
I would like to contradict your point because war is really not necessary because today there are many countries who are nuclear power, and if the war occurs, then I think the world will be finished. So there is.
That's what I said.
Yes, exactly.
But for the purpose
I stand
of
with
peace, we should be taking it granted. We should be ready for the war, but it should not be the only and the last reason for that. We should try diplomacy, get influence, then only we should be ready for the war. But we should always be prepped with the nuclear stuff, arms, ammunition, so that in case if something goes out of the way, we are not just a sufferer, which we can see in the Venezuela case right now. These guys were not ready for the war, but they were not ready for the war. They were always trying to be diplomatic, which ended up in a situation which everybody in the country is facing.
Right.
So we should always be ready up for the war, but also diplomacy should be our first priority.
Yes, exactly. As my friend
here
here also mentioned about World War II, even I stand by the point that just a country decided to be a superpower. That is why that war started. Peace was never the thought process when that war was when they were waging the war against the
But
world.
what about the
also
infrastructure
if
and
the
the
US would
financial
also
development?
interface in the World War II, then the situation would be different.
No, but
Well,
the World War
yes.
II disrupted the peace of the entire world forever.
When the-
Even we all know
around the war.
No,
even in the-
Right.
even in the-
As we
Yes,
have seen,
World War II has-
America is a very powerful.
peace is often not the motive.
And
When even in the World War II,
For
America is very
getting
powerful.
out in a peace situation, we need to have superpower. Let's say in India, we are having a peace. We are not having peace because everybody want to be peace.
But
Everybody
what
want
about
to be
the
peace
taxpayers who are
because
paying there's
they
important
get
money?
employment. Many people get employment with the war.
So, but
Medical-
once
No,
again,
employment-
it's
employment really-
employment.
I would like to
really-
contradict your point because I think overall economy suffers and the inflation also rises. So
Let's
Even
see example of US.
I
Example
partially
of
agree
US.
with my friend's point over here because I feel that superpowers are partially responsible for creating war-like situations around
Which
the world.
ended up in boosting their economy. Why not India as a whole?
How?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
they
US
do not
economy
boost-
produce more than 35% from the defense.
We can see from the example of Russia-Ukraine war, it
Yes.
doesn't lead to increase
And what
of
about the
economy.
gold and the
See,
gold?
exactly.
US economy.
I think that
I
I
think US
It's the
economy
decline in GDP of the
of the country which are running the war, not of the country who are funding it. Example, US, UK have increased their
So
GDP.
it doesn't lead to peace now between the countries
Yes,
that
exactly.
are
I
involved in
feel
the
like
war.
my friend here is waiting for the topic. We are not here to discuss if the superpowers are benefit from wars. We are here
we are
to discuss if war
I
is
completely
necessary for
agree with
peace.
him. Actually, wars are important, but we have to see if a lot of amount is being spent on it and if it is going to affect the population of the country.
When
As
even
we are
the-
seeing
even in the
that, as
World
we
War-
are
yes,
seeing
when
that
even in the
if
World
a
War
country is
inflation
not
as well.
military ready, then a superpower country like America is ready to eradicate every country. But like as we have seen in Venezuela, it was military ready, so its citizens and also its vice president is ready to fight America. Otherwise, it will completely eradicate.
But what
it.
about the crisis that Venezuela had while having the war? Like, imagine the World War II had so much of devastating effects on it. So how can we say that war is really an outcome of a positive effect?
Well, in the World War II, there was a dictatorship in there, and in the many countries there is a dictatorship. If there isn't a war, if there is a peace negotiations, the absolute peace would never exist because dictators would never want it
Yes.
because they would want
Exactly.
the things to
Even-
go in their way.
I
The
agree with
final
my
name for the
friends.
negativity is war is necessary. War should be there if the diplomacy fail, and diplomacy should should be trying to end it in a positive way. If it goes negative, war should be ready,
I
and
think
war
that-
not only prevent us from defeating but also prevent our economy to boom.
I think that we need to realize that once a war has been started between any of the two countries or any other countries as well, peace can never be restored because there are long-lasting impacts that can never be taken back. For example, the World War II made so many countries nuclear powers, and because of that, many wars are still going on. In fact, the wars that recently happened around the world, after that, the global economic regression has started. Each country is facing such economic setbacks, including our own
But
country.
we are
But
not.
if
But
you
we are not.
consider
we are
in India
not-
and
we are not
Pakistan,
living in
we are having a peace right now. As
Yeah.
well as when you say the countries are economic, no. For a short period of time, they are losing out the money, but in long run, they are actually getting
When
more
we-
shock
if
from
we
the
talk
economy.
about-
Yeah,
we
we
talk
can't
about
say
an
that
ideal-
it will never lead to peace.
If
We
we
can't say
talk
that.
about
You
the
can't say
ideal
that.
world,
Because
if we
war
talk about
leads
the
to
ideal
short-term-
world,
India and China also having the
Yeah.
peace.
But what about the
Nowadays.
mental health
Yeah.
that goes behind the war?
It's not mental
Post-war-
aggression.
No, the common public, which are not even the part of the war, but they are experiencing that war-like situation.
They are not
They
mental
look
state,
at
they are
the
aggression.
war.
During India-Pakistan, you
Like
can
that.
see anyone, any child, even is aggressive. He's ready for this. He's mentally prepared.
I think that
there
all
is
of
a
us
difference
need to-
between preparing for the economic welfare and being prepared for their own future
I think-
or living
well,
in
I think,
uncertain.
I would
I
like
think we can
to
see in
recognize-
politicians, I think
I think we can see in
politicians,
Iran
I
as
think
well.
politi-
I think
can
we
I
can-
speak?
no.
Yeah. Well, I think politicians even brainwash their population into the war
Because of their own benefits.
because of their own benefits by creating a propaganda amongst the
But
population.
is it helping the
Of course, it's
population?
not helping.
Yes, it is helping.
How is
It's
it
a
helping?
country-
You're not thinking
Economics.
about your
I-
future and thinking about the uncertain future that India lies with having war.
It is not
Even
helping the population
I
as we
partially
can see
agree
in
with
Iran.
my friend's point here because I want to bring this to the limelight that India-Pakistan peace was never restored because of war. Pakistan has always been waging war even after losing. The peace that came around for around 10 years was because India decided to economically ruin them.
I
It
think
was-
Economically ruin is one thing, but more or less the providing more with
It was-
ammunition into
it
the
was-
place really help with the
it was-
Pakistan to neutralize the effort. Because if we try to do that, they will get funding by multiple Islamic radicals.
I think
Yeah,
Iran is the prime example. I think Iran is the prime example that the war doesn't help population. They are protesting because of inflation and the loss in infrastructure.
Which I love, but due to the not just of war, because of the irregularization in the democracy which the Iranian ruler is pouring in the public.
I completely agree with my friend's point over here. And even if we take the example of Syria, the kind of devastation that has happened over there, do you want to comment on that? Is it helpful for Syrian people to have the
The
war-like
end goal
situation of that?
on that situation is good. Like during the pre-regime, there was a mass murders which are going on. Due to what there is an impact. I'm not
So
encouraging.
how
to-
is it?
Syria was not always a peaceful place. That war
But
is
now
not-
they
Exactly.
have
Why
gone
is it
toward
not
the
a
peace.
peaceful place? Why
Ma-
other country is trying to capture Syria and why
Because
is
of
it?
their logistics.
Sorry.
Because of their logistics. Every country wants
So
to
do
sit
you
there.
think that if logistics are not well developed and infrastructure is not good, the other country should impose a war?
They
on
have
that
internal
country?
They have
problems
they have
as well.
internal
We can't
problems.
say, we can't say that it's only the external force that is
It's
causing the
not-
Syria
war.
was never been acquired by any external force, but there
They,
are internal
they have
conflicts.
internal problems.
And when we say that war is good for peace, at best example
So
is
war
Syria.
is not just amongst
Best
the other
example is
countries,
Syria
it's
because
within the country
pre-war
also.
they are being able to stop and make out a peace right now.
Well,
How will
this
you
is-
condemn them?
This is not
I
an
agree
ideal
with you.
world. The people here are not ideal, and everyone has aggression towards anything. And if this aggression comes with power, there will be a war. If in today's world the wars are not fought for peace, they're fought for resources. They're
Yeah,
fought
they're
for
fought for
They're fought for
power.
resources
They're
is one
fought
thing,
for-
but they are more often a country's ego. Best example is Saudi and UAE fighting in Yemen. They are not funding, they are not
Yeah.
doing anything, but they are just making out a point that yes, we are winners. They are good friend on table, but
course.
back they are refusing it out.
Of course,
They are
the
fighting for the resources. The external
They are
powers
not fighting for
Well-
they're fighting for logistics.
Are they fighting
This
for
is-
logistics?
I think
war
it's the
required
same
for
thing
peace.
exists
It's not
for
about
resources.
resources. Is it required for
But
peace?
peace is important for
As we
having
have
good
seen
resources,
last year
no?
when Pakistan did an airstrike on India. So India
I condemn
India
Pakistan
has
never
a
did an
pol-
airstrike in on India.
Please just give me a second. India does not have a policy of striking first, but since it striked on its residents, on the innocents, so it did Operation Sindoor. But again, after that, Pakistan decided to neutralize things and make peace.
But how is it important that this war should be important for peace restoration?
So if Pakistan has done an airstrike on India, so India, in order
It
to
will create another war, no?
Yes,
But
exactly.
they have to, they have
Exactly.
to,
Exactly. They are not here to discuss.
We just not have in the India-Pakistan case. We just not have to. We have to do a war to
Pakistan.
I
Well,
think
it's
that
right
they
now.
are
repeatedly
They tell
attacked
us
us.
what to get the peace. So the war is important for the peace.
I
In
think
this
that we
case,
all
also
need
we
to
are just fighting
realize
us.
that we are
What is
not here
important
to
In
is
Syria
discuss.
also we are
It
finding out this.
Okay, last 1
I
minute,
think
please
that we are not
summarize.
here to discuss if a country should defend itself when some other country is attacking. We are here to discuss if war is necessary
that
for
case, war
peace
is
in the
important.
first place.
Yes,
We are
yes,
here to
yes.
discuss.
Can
We are here to discuss if Pakistan should attack India. Was there any motive of peace? We are not here to discuss if India should defend or not.
Even in the war between India and Pakistan, there hasn't been any resource conflicts. If we take about Kashmir, and majorly the war is of religion, of course, religion, and it has been going for like 50 years when the Britishers have left us and they have created this rift. And even then, there is no peace after so many wars. How would we conclude the war is necessary? An absolute war is necessary.
It
for
is
us.
necessary, but because India is able to track down everything in terrorism, then
because it can create a clear winner.
Okay,
or
I
a
think
clear
let's
loser.
stop it over here. Right. So let me just give some comment. I think the GD was completely mess, and that has happened because of only one person, and he'll be the first one to get eliminated.